Welcome to Chapter 3. Today we are going to talk about testing the hot hand, streakiness. The hot hand is when a player has the ability to be successful and it's higher following a success than following a failure. Independent means an athlete's attempts are this if his or her ability to be successful is the same whether they have a success or a failure. In his game on September 7, 2008, quarterback Tony Romo of the Dallas Cowboys had a streak of 9 consecutive completed passes, suggesting that he had the hot hand. Here are the outcomes of each passing attempt in order, where C represents a completed pass and I represents an incomplete or intercepted pass. Romo's streak is underlined. Overall, Romo completed 24 of his 32 passes in this game. Does this streak of 9 successful performances give convincing evidence that Romo had the hot hand, or could his attempts have been independent and the streak of 9 consecutive completions been a result of random chance? We will use the length of his longest streak as the test statistic to test the following hypotheses for Romo's game on September 7, 2008. So our HO and HO are a little bit different in this unit, and they're actually easier. So our HO will be the outcomes of Tony Romo's pass attempts are independent. And our HA would be Romo had the hot hand. So the simulation with note cards is basically the same as what we've been doing. We would take 32 note cards, and label 24C and 8I. And we would shuffle them. And then lay them out. Then you're going to find the longest streak. And then we're going to plot it on a dot plot and repeat many times. A simulation was conducted and the results of 100 simulated games are in the dot plot below. Each dot represents the length of the longest streak in one of the simulated games. So our p-value, we had 45 values that were 9 or higher. So our p-value is 45 out of 100, or 45%. So what conclusion can we make? Well, 45% is pretty high. So we're going to fail to reject the null. So we do not have convincing evidence. That Romo had the hot hand. In the 2008 regular season, the Green Bay Packers had 6 wins and 10 losses, highlighted by a streak of 5 consecutive losses in the second half of the season. Does this streak of 5 losses in a row provide convincing evidence that the Packers were a streaky team? Or is it plausible that the outcomes of their games were independent and the streak happened by random chance? So the results of the games in chronological order are listed right here. And then it asks, what does it mean to say that the outcomes of the Packers games are independent? So what that means is that the outcomes of the Packers game previously does not affect the outcome of the next game. So the hypotheses we're interested in testing are HO, and this will be the same for all of these types of questions, would be the outcomes of the Packers games are independent. And our alternative would be the Packers are a streaky team. And notice we didn't say that they had the hot hand because a streak could have been a win or a loss. And we don't really care which one. We just want to know if they would have as many as 5 in a row. C says, how would you simulate the distribution? So what we would do is we would take 16 note cards, and label 6W for win and 10L for loss. We'd shuffle them and lay them out. Find the longest streak. Plot it on a dot plot and repeat many times. So I did 100 simulations, and it says describe what information is provided in the dot plot below. So we would say the dot plot shows the possible longest streaks that could occur by random chance. Assuming the Packers' outcomes are independent. Then we're supposed to estimate the p-value. Well, the longest streak was 5, so that's right here. It's everything 5 or greater. So our p-value is 41 out of 100, or 41%. Interpret the p-value, we would say, assuming the outcomes of the Packers are independent, we would expect to see a streak of 5 or longer. (41% of the time by random chance). So lastly, we would like to make a conclusion. So our p-value is 41%, which is pretty big. So we failed to reject HO. We do not have convincing evidence. That the Packers are a streaky team.